fiber friends, welcome back to the Pages and Pearls YouTube channel. My name is Hannah. I am a knitter, writer, reader based in New York City, and this is a vlog today. I'm not sure what kind of vlog it will be. Actually, my idea is some sort of knitting around the city, enjoying some slightly too hot spring days in New York kind of vlog, but let's see how that goes and how it pans out in the next few days. I did one vlog before, that was a writing vlog where I took you along. If you've seen that, I took you along to different places that I was writing at and a bit through my writing process, but I like the format of filming a vlog, and I thought it could be cool to do it around a different topic. And yeah, it's Thursday today. It's in the morning, I think 10 a.m. or something like that. And I'm working on my dissertation at the moment, and yeah, but I'm taking breaks here and there, and I thought I could film every now and then. I just made some iced tea. It's really warm here today. It's about 30 degrees Celsius. I have no clue what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's probably somewhere like around 80 degrees. Actually, let me check that. Alright, I was almost right. It's 86 degrees. So it is warm. It's especially warm for mid-April, I would say. I mean, this is the first time that I'm here in April, but it doesn't seem so normal to me that it's this warm. But anyhow, it's, yeah, the windows are open. I hope the street noise isn't distracting too much. But yeah, it's a beautiful sunny day, and I have plans to go outside later and enjoy some of that summer weather. But for now, I basically have to get back to work and work on some edits that my advisor sent me for the chapter that I'm currently working on. But before I do that, I actually wanted to show you some current projects that I'm working on. So before I get into the projects that I'm working on, because I guess I'll introduce them throughout the vlog as I'm working on them, I showed you on the recent podcast, if you've seen that I bought this these two yarns. So this is a Spin Cycles yarn. You cannot really see like the many colors that are in it. So it's the Spin Cycles dyed in the wool, which is this twisted yarn where the colors shift in a really interesting and fun way. And I have a skein of this, and I wanted to make my first color work project with this. So when I was traveling on the weekend, I also bought some fingering weight yarn as the main color for this project that I'm planning to do, and that's the Prado de Lana fingering La Luz, which is, Prado de Lana is like a small sheep farm in Stockbridge in West Massachusetts, and we were staying super close to there, so I picked this up, and it's a very like small production wool. So I'm also curious to work with that. It's 100% Gromne, which I've never worked with, so let's see how that pairs up. And this is a 100% superwash merino. So with these two together, I'm planning to make the Fall Frolic, which is a design by Samantha Guerin. And it's a really nice, I think it's a, what do you call it, a round circular yoke sweater, where you have some stranded color work with these two yarns. And basically what I wanted to do first is to swatch, first of all, to see how the color work works, because I've never really done that before, only in like a hat with really chunky yarn. And I also wanted to figure out how I can knit the color work, because I've seen people talk about doing sort of English style and continental style knitting at the same time to alternate the strands of color work. So basically, I made a swatch because of course we should always swatch, but also to figure out if the very high contrast, especially the dark yarns in the Spin Cycles yarn, if there's any color bleeding with the white yarn that I'm planning to use as the main color. So I knit up a swatch yesterday, a smaller one, because I'm good with the yarn quantity I have, but I shouldn't use up too much for swatching, I think. So I made the swatch yesterday, and I just put it in the sink to soak it in some water and laundry detergent. So I'm basically, laundry detergent, wool wash, basically as if I would wash and block the sweater once it's done, just to get an idea whether I have to treat this yarn in any way still before I start knitting to avoid color bleeding. Alright, here we are. This is the swatch. I hope you can see it and that it focuses well. So I did like a slightly smaller, I think 2/3 of the 10 centimeters, and I cannot see any color bleeding, which is good because I used one of the most, like the darkest, or one of the darkest strand combinations of the spin cycles to test this out. And as far as I can see, there is no unwanted blue in the very, very pristine white of the other yarn. So that's promising, and I guess a good sign for me to not have to do anything with the spin cycles before I start. I will measure my gauge now to see if that is all good, and yeah, then I don't know when I'm going to cast it on. It's too warm to cast on such a heavy wool weight sweater at the moment. I mean, it's fingering weight, but still. But I think it's going to cool down in a few days, so I'll probably wait until then and then cast on. Alright, I put the swatch up to dry and snipped the backs of it where I was carrying over the yarn to swatch in the round, so I can measure my gauge later once it's dry to see if, yeah, the yarn, the wool still reshapes itself, does something in the drying process. I have no idea. And now I'm gonna get back to my dissertation. For later today, I have some plans. My partner is gonna play in his volleyball league tonight, and I think I might join and just go to the location where they are. I usually don't go to watch volleyball because I don't really care so much about the sport, but it's in a nice location and it's a beautiful day, so I think it's a good opportunity to go outside and enjoy a bit of the city. And one of the main reasons also that I want to go there is because it's close to one of my favorite yarn shops here in the city, and I need to pick up some sock yarn. I want to make these red radish socks by Stone Knits. I can put the pattern also here somewhere. So I want to make these as a gift for my father, and yeah, I have been to my local yarn shop close by, but I haven't found a really nice brown color for this earthen tone. So the red radish socks are colorwork socks with these really cute little radish plants in the soil, and I think there are 4 different colors in that, and for the brown and for the red I haven't found a really nice yarn. So I want to go to this other shop where they have a bit more smaller brands also partially, and see if I can find a nice combination of colors there to make these socks with. I'm not in a super hurry to knit them, but I do want to start soon just because I feel like making them, and I'm kind of halfway through the second sock of the pair that I'm currently knitting, so I will be in the mood to cast a new pair of socks on soon. So I want to have, be sure that I have the yarn for that, and that's it. But I'll take you along later. For now, I'm gonna get back to work and get writing and editing. Alright, it's time for my lunch. We bought supplies for homemade poke bowls yesterday, so I'm having a salmon poke bowl with some seaweed salad, edamame, pickled ginger, soy sauce, the rice, and actually I just realized we have some dried seaweed as well, so I'm gonna put some on top and then take a break and maybe watch some knitting podcasts while eating and before I get back to work. I was knitting a little bit on my Cumulus blouse, which the way I'm holding it up now looks very blob-like, but I already split for the sleeves and I'm knitting some easy stockinette in the round now, which is super nice after the traveler's cardigan that I made last. I also talked about this in my last podcast episode. I loved making the traveler's cardigan, but after all the back and forth knitting for the cardigan, I really had the urge to have an easy, nice stockinette in the round project again, so this is really enjoyable right now. And it's almost a bit too warm to knit on this, but the good thing is that this fabric is like so light and airy with the combination of the mohair and the fingering weight merino that it doesn't feel like, I don't know, a super heavy warm garment in my lap, so it actually works quite well. and I'm gonna get back to work now to get a few more things done before I finish for the day. I'm making figures for my chapter right now, so I haven't talked too much about what I actually do for research, but the study that I'm a cognitive neuroscientist, psychologist basically, so I study brain processes in the human brain, and my main topic is memory, and episodic memory is the more precise term actually. So basically I use very, very short movie clips as material for my experiments, and I show these short movie clips to people, and then I ask them a bit later or a day later. Okay, let's wait for this noise to pass. I ask people then a bit later, a day later, which of these movie clips they still remember, and based on that, I then go back to my to the time point where they were watching the movie clips, and then look at brain processes related to, that basically predict whether you will later on remember the movie or not. And this is episodic memory, so in day-to-day life that would translate to, I don't know, for example, you watch this video right now and you only see this video once, right? But still tomorrow you might be able to remember that you watched this video with me, and basically I'm studying what happens in your brain that makes you remember this movie later on. So that's the nerdy part of this video. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but those are the studies that I'm working on. And I'm making figures today, so lots of diagrams. Those always take a lot of time. There's always a lot of, I don't know, like Illustrator, so image editing. Someone would have told me before I started my PhD how much time I would spend cutting videos and in Photoshop and in Illustrator. I wouldn't have believed them. But yeah, you spend a lot of time there to make nice diagrams, and that's just the way it is. Sometimes it's nice because I can just put on some relaxing music in the background and do my very precise work there. Anyhow, enough babbling. I made some good progress with this. So this is the Cumulus blouse by Petite Knit. I haven't said this before, and I am knitting this in Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair and Knitting for Olive merino in the colorway Dusty Dove Blue. And I am also knitting this together with Chelsea from True Lane Knits podcast. We cast our Cumulus blouses on at the same time, and it's a very fun knit along with a friend so far. I've never done this before, but it's really motivating to keep going and seeing where each of us is at. So this is what is my main priority at the moment, interspersed with some other projects. And I knit a good couple of rounds, more than a couple of rounds actually, for this, and making my way through the body. But time to put the knitting away now and get back to work. Let's see how well you can hear me with this. I actually didn't say where I was really going, so I am going to Brooklyn General, which is a yarn and fabric shop in Brooklyn. And I've been there a couple of times before. I really like that shop. And it's a bit out of my way, but I always enjoy going there. So this is where we're going, and I hope that I can find the sock yarn that I'm looking for there. But first, there's a bit of a subway ride ahead, so I brought my book, a whip that I could knit in case I have space, and of course audiobooks and music, so I'll try to film it when I'm there. morning. It is Friday today. I'm at work. You can see a brainy in the background. Yeah, I just wanted to check in quickly. And yesterday was a really nice afternoon and evening. As I said, I think in one of the short vlogs I couldn't film in the shop, unfortunately, in Brooklyn General. I would have loved to take you along, but there was really little time because there was some subway chaos. So I will have to do that another day, but I did manage to pick up the goods that I needed. I'll show them to you in a minute. And then afterwards I hung a bit around the Brooklyn Bridge Park because my partner was playing volleyball there, and I just had a nice time walking around a bit, knitting a bit. I read a bit in my book and I watched the sunset, which was super pretty. And then close to there is also a really nice pizza place where we had dinner, and then at some point we went home. It was a really nice night. I love these sort of summery, I mean it's not summer yet, but like after a hot day, the moment that it cools down a bit and people go outside and it feels like everyone can take a breath again. Yeah, that's a super nice feeling. And yeah, today is Friday, so I'm gonna continue working. I need to send a chapter update to my advisors today. So that's at the top of my to-do list, to prepare everything for that, because then I have, I think 2 more weeks to write my general introduction and discussion for the whole dissertation, which is a tough time plan, but let's see how that goes. Yeah, but first I'll show you the yarn. Okay, so here's what I got from Brooklyn General. First up is a pair of 9-inch circulars, US 1.5 to knit on the socks. I have Jago wooden one, not metal needles, in US size 1, so 2.25 millimeters, that I knit my vanilla socks with, that I really like, but I figured for the color work it would be good to have also the option to go one size up, and I don't have any 2.5 millimeter needles, so I needed to get these. And I just love sock knitting on the 9-inch circulars. I get really annoyed after a while with magic loops, so that was my first purchase. And then the yarn itself, so I showed you. Alright, the worst of the noise is gone, so I can continue. So I showed you the picture of these radish socks that I want to make, and I needed to pick up a few colors for that because I don't have a lot of sock yarn yet, and the ones that I have are just not the right colors, except for this cascade sock yarn that I'm planning to use as the white color for the color work. And then I needed, of course, some red for the radishes and some green for the leaves and the plant stems, I guess. So I picked up, all of this is Exmoor sock. I'll tell you about the fiber content in a minute, but I picked up this red and this green. On camera they come up a bit more washed out than they actually are, so they're a bit more color intensive, I would say, than what you see now. I will try to maybe film them a bit differently. Let's see if that works. So this is the red and green, and then because I will probably make 2 pairs of these socks, for the earth color I picked up 2 different colors. So for one pair of socks I'm gonna use this combination, and for the other one I'm gonna use this combination. And this is more of a, this was actually hanging in this sort of more purple lilac colorways, so it does have some purple undertones, even those are very, very light, I would say. And then this is more of a classic brown. So the Exmoor sock yarn is from the UK, and it's an interesting fiber content. So it's, you can see it here, 60% Exmoor Blue Face Superwash, 20% Corriedale Superwash, 10% Swart Bless. I don't know, I'm pronouncing it a bit more Dutch now, what that actually is. I guess some plant, and then 10% nylon. And it's a 4-ply yarn. And the colorways that I picked out, so this purple one is Bibble Bug. Then we have Aggie, the green one. Peggles, the red one. And the purple one is called, the brown one is called Fuzz Pig. There you go. So these are the yarns that I got, and I think together with this, they're gonna make nice red radish socks. Let's see how it will go. I already got the pattern, and I'm eager to finish knitting the socks that I currently have on my needle so that I can get started. Again, it's after lunchtime. I just had lunch. I'm having some iced tea now. This is green tea, decaf green tea with some honey mixed in. I think I filmed as I was making it yesterday, and there was a little bit of leftover in the fridge, so I'm having that to cool down a bit. And I have been knitting on my sock for a bit. I think I also filmed a bit of that. So this is where I'm at now. I have now finished the heel flap and now have to sort of pick up all these stitches to then continue knitting on the foot. This is the vanilla sock pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady, which is a really nice sock recipe pattern kind of that I have knit up once, and then this is now the second sock in the second pair that I'm knitting. And the yarns are the cuff and heel, and then also eventually toe contrast color is the Friendly Products in Burnt Amber in their sock yarn, and the main color that I'm using here is this Plies and Hellhounds in Merry Cutie base, and the color is Lady of Shalott. I believe it's currently not available on the website, at least last time I checked. I didn't see it, but I'm loving it. I love that it has a tiny, slightly bit more rustic feel than your regular superwash merino nylon blend, because I think this is Corriedale, superwash Corriedale, so it's a bit of a different fiber content, and then 25% nylon as well. And yeah, I'm just loving the colors of this sort of like pink purplish base, and then all the sprinkles in all the rainbow colors on top. And yeah, as you can see, I finished the leg, and now I have to pick up stitches, knit the rest of the sock, and I hope to get quite far with this weekend, because I'm also eager to cast on the new pair of socks that I got yarn for. And this morning I was working on my chapter. I was doing a lot of the graphics, editing a little bit. That's why I took a little yarn and knitting break in between, because I was switching tasks, and I always find it super helpful to knit a few rows in between to get my mind ready for the next thing that I have to do if it's conceptually very different. So I was going from making figures and moving things around in Illustrator or Inkscape, which is the free version of it, going from that to working on chapter edits. So I will now continue with that, and other than that, I don't think there's so much else. Oh yeah, I woke up with a migraine this morning, so it's been a bit tough looking at screens. I have it fairly much under control right now with painkillers, so I do get migraines fairly often, unfortunately. But I also have my recipes for things, how to sort of suppress them or get them under control. And yeah, but I still notice that my eyes are a bit sensitive to light, especially screen light, so that's always a problem if it's a work day, but that's why I'm trying to get some work done and then take very frequent short screen breaks just to relax my eyes a little bit, so I can not make the migraine worse or make it start again. So this is why I'm extra looking forward to the weekend, because then I can just stay away from screens as much as I want to. Last weekend we were traveling, so this weekend I'm also looking forward to getting our lives organized, doing groceries, all of the things that sort of don't happen during the week, and then get some knitting time in, read a bit, go for walks, just a chill, nice weekend. So let's see how that goes. Hello. It has been a few days since the last time I checked in. It is Tuesday today, so I think the last time I talked to you guys was before the weekend. I had a really nice weekend. I spent a lot of time outside in the park, going for walks. On Saturday we took just a blanket and some books, and I took my knitting, and we spent a few hours in the park just looking at the trees. It was really nice because our apartment heats up quite easily when it gets warm and sunny. So it was good to take our things outside and cool down a bit. I didn't really feel like filming on the weekend, just a few things here and there. My migraine didn't really go away, so I wanted to stay away from all things screen related, and yeah, but it was really nice. I got to meet Madison also. I think I mentioned this before, that I was going to meet her. So that is Madison from the Madison Monty's YouTube channel. She also makes knitting podcasts, which I highly recommend. And we met, and it was really lovely. And it was also nice to make a knitting friend in real life, because actually, I think apart from my mom, I don't really know people in outside of this online space that knit. So yeah, that was really cool. And then just work has started again this week. I'm writing now the introduction for my dissertation, which is hard, but we're somehow getting there. And yeah, that's about it. Over the weekend it was so warm that I couldn't bear really touching any heavier projects, so I spent the weekend mainly knitting on my socks. So I finished a pair of socks now. I will show you that pair in my next podcast episode. And the other reason, other than the hot weather, for me knitting being so motivated to knit on my socks was that I wanted to free up my needles to start the red radish colorwork socks. Hello, I just wanted to wrap up this vlog you saw me wind some yarn and cast on my new sock project. I am very much at the beginning still, as you could see. So I'm just past the cuff and starting the rows of color work now, which is very exciting because this is the first time I'm actually doing this on such a small scale project. So I'm really looking forward to keep on knitting now. And yeah, I just wanted to wrap this up and wish you all a great day or evening or whenever you're watching this, wherever you are in the world. And if you like this content, yeah, consider giving me a like, so that signals also to me that you enjoyed this. And I hope to see you soon in a new video soon. And yeah, goodbye.